Okay, so you've got, this is going to be a G taper pipe. That's the length of it. It's got a 14mm bore. It's parallel bore all the way down. You saw that being done. I've got the mandrel in here. Morse taper at one end, 14mm piece of wood sticking into the bore here. Now if I spin this, this was the exit, and you can see that this is not central. That hole came out slightly off center, so when you spin it, this end's pretty good where it went in. This end where it came out, is the wood is doing this a bit, which is fine because we are centered up on the bore, so when we turn the outside off, that will become beautifully square and the same diameter all the way around. But the first thing we do is I've made, obviously the piece of wood was slightly longer so that I can clean up the ends. So with a skew chisel, I'm going to just face this end off first. First of all, I'll just make sure it's completely round with this. And when you're turning on a squared piece of wood like this, it's got 8 sides on it where it's not been turned down yet. As it turns, you will hear the kind of shuddering, juddering noise as it hits each one of those corners. You can hear that digga 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 noise. Now when you think you're almost round, you might not be sure, and some people put their finger on it and they can feel it, which is not a good idea because you might get a splinter. What you can do is just put the back of your gouge on. So where it's been turned round, there's no noise on this bit. You can hear it rattling. And if you think you've got it all the way down, but you're not quite sure because it's sounding just slightly ish, just put the back of your gouge on there and you'll hear if it's round or not. Anyway, so I've rounded that off. And then you just use your skew chisel. It's a tiny little skew chisel I got at a wood fair somewhere. I bought a whole load of them. There's like 20 odd things there. I only use this one. But you will find you get lots of instruments making tools. So we're just going to face it off, which is where you poke the end of the skew chisel in and just clean up the end. By effectively taking off a really small amount, so you end up with a lovely smooth face. It's all lovely and smooth and flat there. Oh, lovely. So then you measure, that's a good end, you measure from there to where the end of your instrument is actually going to be. Put it on the lathe the other way around, like that. Then you can mark where the end's going to be with your pencil. Go and chop it off. If it's a great big amount, chop it off on the bandsaw and then clean up the other end like you did there, facing it off. And then you end up with an instrument the right size and you can start the turning process.